A take that I have that is for some reason a quote unquote like a hot take is that poor people should not have kids. And I feel like I understand why that can be seen as like a hot take and things like that. But I feel like there's a deeper reasoning on why, if you are struggling financially, that having a child is not something that should at all be on your mind. People constantly say that kids are a blessing when in reality, that is not the case. Children are a genuine responsibility, one, and two, they are a genuine burden that you are taking on purpose. Most in most case scenarios, you're taking on this burden on purpose. And on top of all of the things that a child needs from a parent, from two parents, which is emotional stability, time, and patience, one of the main factors that you need are your finances to be in order. You have to understand that you are literally having to put money into your child. And also, you need a plan, like from ages 1 to 5. Where do you see your child being? A lot of people just have children and then just don't really have this necessary plan for them once they turn a certain age. Like once they turn 15, they don't really know where they really would like see, their kid at all. And that's like a scary thought to have that, you know, that you don't have a type of plan for them or you don't have money put away for them. Or when they're in high school that you aren't planning or not putting away money or just don't have the money to put away so you can, buy them a car and things like that. Or this idea that you're struggling financially and that they should be putting themselves in position to buy you a house or that they should be passing money up in some way or form or fashion when that's just not realistic to expect from anybody, especially somebody that you willingly brought into the world. You should be in a position to pass things down to them. They shouldn't have to not only work twice as hard to get out of the poverty that they're in, but to also work three times as hard because you want to be even more selfish and tell them like, hey, you got to buy me a house one day. Like that saying, like, you need to buy me a house one day, or you have to buy your mom a house one day, or something like that. That is just like such a backwards way of thinking. And getting back onto the point that poor people shouldn't really have kids, it shouldn't really be something that you're doing because you shouldn't want to, in a form of child abuse, I feel, you shouldn't want to bring your child into a world where you are literally already burnt out and stressed and tired every day to the point where you're working overtime and burning yourself out even more, tiring yourself out even more, and stressing yourself out even more. You now have a child who just, they need things from you. They need your time, they need your literal attention, and they need your patience because they're still like children. They're still growing up in the world. They need those things from you. And if you cannot provide those things, you shouldn't be, you shouldn't be having a kid. Like if you are in a position where getting a flat tire is like one of like the worst things that could happen to you, you probably shouldn't be thinking about bringing a kid into the world. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not even at that stage of commitment of even like being married, and I'm not saying that you have to get married or anything like that. I'm just saying that you're not even in that thought spot. Like you're not even in the mental place of committing hard enough to being like married or to being like faithful, but you're willing to bring a whole new life into the world knowing that the relationship is on the rocks, thinking that a child is going to save the relationship. Because now you're putting even more responsibility and pressure on the kid, thinking that the kid is going to save this relationship when in reality, the relationship is cooked. You feel me? And you tie all of that into financial struggle. Now the child is also at risk of now feeling like they're at fault for certain things going wrong when in reality it's just the parents just being irresponsible and bringing a child into the world thinking that they're ready because they want a kid. you know I just I don't think that, you know, being in a financial position that is already burdening and already a struggling position for you, being broke, I just don't think it's a hot take to think that you shouldn't be having kids if you're at that point financially. If you're at a point of financial struggle, you shouldn't be having kids. And if you already have a kid, I don't think you should be having more, knowing that you're struggling financially. It just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. And I feel like it's not really a hot take. I just feel like people get upset at the idea that they quote unquote can't have a kid because they're poor, because they're too broke. But yeah, like, what do you mean? Like, why would you be upset about something like that? Like, just because you grew up struggling and you grew up fine, like the kid is gonna grow up fine as well. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. It just it something has to be lacking because there's no way that you would even want to put your own child through a form of like trauma like that just because you want a kid. And a lot of times it's not even like they want a child. It's just like they want a quote unquote, they want a mini me. But it's like that's not a mini me. That's a whole separate person right there. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I figured I'd just say that. I've been wanting to say that for a minute. But yeah, be breezy.